Pinaos sa Masali no. Masali no. Sila gawin.
What's going on, everybody? It's Afro Think Tank. Africans, take note. African countries, take note. East African countries, take note. Listen, take notes. All right? I need y'all to bust out a pen and paper and write down what you see. And then I need you to duplicate it, because this is the kind of energy that's necessary. All right? Some retarded China, I'm showing some old racist white China, you got those. All right, you went to Jamaica, built a hotel, and tried to say only Chinese and white people can stay at the hotel. That was also, taking up a beach area. So you went to Jamaica. You went to the land of warriors.
Okay, this guy is Anthony Carter, and doing a bit research, evidence points to him being African American from the United States. So since he's talking about Jamaica and screaming, take note, let's investigate this, because perhaps he should take some notes here.
You what? You went to Jamaica and you said what now? You said only Chinese and white. Is that what you said? Okay. Jamaica was like, yeah, okay, no problem. No problem. Bomba cloud. Ha! Ross cloud. Ha! Yeah. And preceding that, somehow, I don't know what happened. I ain't see it. I ain't see nothing. Hotel. It's no longer there. Somehow, it caught fire. It ain't there no more. Millions of dollars investment gone. Hey, but you white folk and you racist Chinese, y'all go stay there.
Well, it's interesting because, first of all, let's begin by if he would actually educate himself. You know what I mean? The first arrivals who migrated to Jamaica, they were in the mid-19th century, but one of the earliest documentation groups being in 1854. Okay? Now, my experience with Jamaicans and Jamaicans from all backgrounds, they actually get along really well. When it comes to having the same culture, and maybe he should actually meet some Chinese Jamaicans, because I've met Chinese Jamaicans. The first time I ever met Chinese Jamaicans, I was really, blown away, because, you may be seeing a Chinese person, but when they talk and what they say, they are totally Jamaican in their soul. But you know what? Let's carry on and listen to some of his propaganda, because I'm going to call it propaganda, and I'm going to explain why I call it propaganda. Now, he claims that Chinese built a hotel in Jamaica, and that they said only Chinese and white guests can stay. Guess what? There is no credible information on that event.
You know what I'm saying? You can camp out on the beach if you want, no problem. Huh? Listen, East Africa, take note. That's all I'm saying. And you Indians, yeah, you know, East Africans, take note. Do the y'all. That's the kind of that's what's if you want to be respected. All right, this the kind of shit that gotta just kind of happen out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? We can't stay. How you gonna come to my country, build some shit, and then say I can't come there? You the arrogant, the what? You see, this is the problem. A lot of these old fuckers, all right, these old businessmen, right? Their minds are stuck in the 1950s and 60s. Right? They have not evolved. These are not evolved human beings. What made this guy think? It's because the Chinese people like going to Jamaica. You know, I know Chinese people like the Caribbean and they like going to Jamaica and shit like that. But you business owners, listen, you're going to make it bad for the regular Chinese citizen. All right? When they go places and y'all do shit like this. And it goes to show, look, these are the coons. This is a Chinese coon. All right? A Chinese coon who really thought he could go to Jamaica. You can't get no black. Look, you can't get no blacker than Jamaica. Huh? You gonna say no black people in Jamaica? What? Like, I never understood that shit. Look, you couldn't come to any black neighborhood in America, set up anything, and tell us that only you and white people can use it. Because somehow, that motherfucker probably gonna get burnt the fuck down. Y'all already know, y'all would never try that shit. Alright? I just want to know, what made these people think that they were gonna get away with that? Y'all think them Jamaicans soft? Y'all think them Jamaicans soft? What other countries do y'all do that in? That's what I want to know. What other country can a Chinese person go, right, set up camp and say, none of the indigenous population use this shit. Only me and my precious, precious white people. You know how much of a bitch you gotta be to be a Chinese man and say only white people. You worship them Chinese, them white nuts so bad. I ain't never once seen a Chinese person put mayonnaise on anything. Okay? Never once. But somehow, you guys will put the jizz of that Neanderthal in your mouth and swish it around. Let that shit dry up in your mouth. You keep your mouth open and your tongue out so it can just dry up on your tongue in your mouth. Because you like that dry, crispy flavor going down your throat. That's how insane it is. And I'm glad that, you know, Shango came along, right? Because what you did, you pissed off Shango. Shango came along and strucketh your hoteleth with brimstone and fire. All right, now you take your ass back to China. All right, and build a hotel there, and say no Chinese people can come here, just white folk. Go do that. Try that shit. Maybe you can go to some other but you can't. Listen, East Africa, take notes. All right, if you want to be respected, you got to go get that shit. Because when they do shit like that, that's just a lack of respect. That's a lack of respect. I'm going to go to China, and I'm going to set up shop. I'm going to say, ain't no Chinese people can use this. Only me, my black folk, and white folk. How the fuck you think that'll go down? Huh? Does that even make any sense in any modern day bit? Like, what kind of business model was that? And I bet you they got the nerve. I bet you they hired all black people though. Huh? I bet you them black folks would have been in there working. Huh? They just can't stay. They're not good enough to. So Jamaica's good enough to go set up camp in, right? Because it's a paradise. Jamaica's good enough for that, right? The people are good enough to work in your hotel, but they're not good enough to stay. So that means if I were to go to Jamaica, I couldn't stay at the hotel because I'm black. I'm an American. Huh? You telling me, an American, I can't use that hotel? Let me tell you something. I would have called Shango myself. Pull up. We just spent the block on you, motherfucker. Don't build it again. Don't move somewhere else in Jamaica and build that shit. Don't island hop and try to build it again, because the same shit gonna happen if you got the same rules. Them the energies we need to be having for all these motherfuckers that think they can just openly disrespect black folk.
First of all, Jamaica is not his country. He's American. Many Chinese Jamaicans, what will you tell them? Because you're black, you haven't grown up in that country, and you're not born in the country as they have. It's your country. He's a very arrogant man. He talks about businessmen whose minds are stuck in the 1950s and 60s, while his mind is stuck back in the slave era, where wealthy African blacks in Africa sold poor blacks to white colonial men into slavery. Both groups were wrong, by the way. Both of them were horrible. In order to advance, you must move past it and realize those evil men from both sides are now dead. You have to live in the future in order to advance. He's talking about evolving, but he hasn't, it seems, evolved himself. He calls Chinese coons. Well, to me, that name coon shouldn't be used on any race, anything derogatory. Jamaica certainly had racial discrimination in hotels during the colonial period, including hotels that excluded black Jamaicans. But that doesn't establish, and he can't even prove it, that a Chinese-owned hotel had a Chinese and white-only policy ever, in the past or in present. Now, this story has been circulating on social media since 2022. There's a Reddit discussion about it, where people try to identify this supposed hotel and source of racial claim. Commenters trace the imagery story being circulated to a hotel guest house fire while questioning, claimed racial motive. No one has been able to prove an actual valid source because no Jamaican news has ever reported it. There is no name of this actual hotel and nothing with credibility that you can actually find on it. If he was an educated man, he would have done research instead of promoting propaganda, something that he hears on TikTok. TikTok, sorry, is not, I'm not going to say that's a reliable and educated source, sorry. Indigenous population of Jamaican were primarily the Tainos and Arawakan speaking indigenous Caribbean people, and then blacks and Chinese, and then the other races went in after. So, Now, he's talking about openly disrespect black folk. Now, you know what? He has to come up. When you rant about something, you have to give credible information, not something because he's trying to promote hate. Then to me, his hate is just like the KKK. He's just a different skin tone.
Crazy. What? Jamaica, you must be out your motherfucking mind. Set up buck camp and think you gonna say they can't. What? Okay, nigga. All right, we're gonna burn this motherfucker down. That's what's gonna happen. All right, now stay at the rubble. You and the white folk can stay on the rubble and cook fucking grilled mayonnaise and cheese sandwiches with no crust. Go right the fucking ahead. Have a ball. Have at it. Got the nerve to take their beach too. The Caribbean islands are tired of white people. All right, and those Chinese white people. Mostly Han Chinese, all right, the ones that think they so white, tired of you guys moving into their places, developing all this shit, blocking their natural resources for your monetary gain. That beach ain't yours, Chinese man. All right, racist, Coonarian, Chinese, European dick sucking succubus? No. All right, them the Jamaicans' land. That's Jamaican beach. That's Jamaican water. You should be happy that they allow you to be there. That you should be happy they allow you to be there. But is it the government? Are the government allowing these Chinese to come in and act like that? How much money are the politicians in Jamaica being paid to sell their people out like this? Because there's no way a Coonarian ass Chinese man, right? And we probably can't even blame the white folk on this one. They don't make rules like this. White folks don't make rules like this. All right? Not anymore anyway. They used to back in the day, right? But you Chinese people, are you out your mind? Yeah. I ain't got no words for you. You got to be a dumbass business owner to do some shit like this. In Jamaica, yeah, you can get away with that shit in some of them countries in East Africa that politicians are so corrupt they don't give a fuck. All right, and they be on their way out too. They working on that shit over there in East Africa. They working on that shit. All right, They work that mob justice over there. They working on that shit too. All right. See, in South Africa, they don't play that shit. At least with the Chinese. All right, they let the white folks do whatever the fuck they want. I don't get that shit. I don't get that. I don't get the disrespect. I don't get how these governments who are now ran by black people allow businesses and these people to disrespect their people. I don't get that. How can you expect to get respect around the world when you don't even allow your own people to be respected by these people who are visitors into your land? Y'all, hey, look, y'all got to get any politician that allows some shit like this happen. Y'all need to get rid of that motherfucker. Jamaica. If y'all got politicians letting these Chinese motherfuckers come and take all your beachfront property, building hotels and shit, the travel industry is a parasitic industry. Same thing in Hawaii. Look at Hawaii, Look at Hawaii. They made the place fucking miserable. The Hawaiians and the Samoans, that's their land. All you got is a bunch of white folk, right? And rich coon-arian ass Japanese. I'm talking, I like to separate. That's why I add the coon to it so we know the type we're talking about. Setting up fucking camp, taking up all the premium goddamn real estate, and then somehow that one place got, the whole part of the island got burnt down where all the regular folk, the indigenous folks live. That got real quiet, didn't it? They got real quiet. Real quiet. We don't talk about that no more. All those babies done died and shit, right? Because these rich fuckers, right, taking up all the good shit, leaving the less desirable part of the land for the people, right? And only jobs you got is some low paying ass, shitty ass jobs like maids and dishwasher and server and shit like that. That ain't bringing no real economic opportunity to these people on these islands, to these rich white folk and these coon ass Asian rich millionaires and billionaires. And look, these same, I mark my words, and Asian people, y'all know these same piece of shit ass, coon ass Asians that go to other countries and try to discriminate against the indigenous population. They do the same thing in China. They don't give a fuck about their Chinese citizen or their Japanese. These people don't care about nobody. All right? They don't care about nobody. And when I guarantee you, when they said only Chinese and white, they meant, the rich Chinese and white. All right? They wouldn't let none of their little peasant Chinese stay there. They ain't good enough. I know that, right? But yeah, you got to be a dumb motherfucker. You gonna go to Jamaica? Tell them, what? Oh, shit. Them fighting word, that's war, Slim. That's war. That's war. A hotel, you want to put a hotel up and say a certain group can't get, what the fuck you think this is? The 60s or something? The 50s and the 60s? The fucking 30s and shit? These old fucking geezers, they don't upgrade their software system or something. These old business people, they really don't. Look at Donald Trump. Niggas still think he in the 50s and shit. These old fuckers really don't evolve at all. They just they stop it. Whatever they were doing when they was in their 30s, they just keep doing that. Keep thinking the same shit. Living in a bubble. These Bammers get money, they living in a bubble. They don't know what the hell's going on around the world. They don't know at all. They're clueless. Money don't mean you smart. Sometimes you just in the right place at the right time, or you just got lucky. Anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this in the comment section. Afro Think Tank, learn something. Tito, I'm out.
The Jamaicans burned this racist hotel down.
Hey, we just have a question. No watch.
Now, all the head bobbing, theatrics, does it make it credible? Because does he think it makes it credible that he head bobbles and theatrics? And no. You know what? If it doesn't even matter how many people spread fake news on TikTok or social media, you should be accountable to investigate. Now here's this is when, like I said, it was 2022. That's, someone started putting out this nonsense. And here it is on Reddit, where someone placed the first post. Can anyone find a news source about the racial angle of this story? Or is it another attempt to lump Asians in with racists? They put whites. Twitter is eating this up. Circle jerking about how racist we are. Now, let's read the comments that were 4 years ago, because since this is something he just reported on, let's see, where does this say? 2 months ago, he placed this up on his feed. And like I said, this is some propaganda that was in 2022 and people even, like I said, spoke about it on Reddit. So let's take a look. So one person even says it's a propaganda, a social engineering against black to make Asians hate blacks. And they even put, by the way, lots of Chinese marry Jamaican women and men. So if they hate Jamaican, their Jamaican wife or son will be the first one to be banned going inside. Second is the locals. Another person put, I'm seeing this happen often, trying to pair black and Asians against each other. This is engineering to try and create racism against the two groups. Learn when you're being manipulated. Another comment. There's different audience groups. Those who hate white and Asians, or those that hate Asians with Western audience. With their lack of education and high amounts of brainwashing, it is very easy to capitalize on them and earn money. That's what a lot of these users do, on these social media platforms. They make up or spread rumors that gain them a platform, followers, and money. For any of us, think how easy it would be to trash China and get a few hundred thousands or several million followers. Channels like that already exist with anything we can make up.
Hey guys, it's the girl Shinsia. I am half Jamaican and half Korean. I can remember when I was a kid just trying to wildly explore that side. It's just me picking off the palm trees and stripping it of the leaves, turn them into like homemade chopsticks and eating noodles with them. I'm elated about stepping deeper into my heritage. I am super excited to explore my other side. Happy.
Wagwan, me there in my kitchen, I cook some curry chicken. Me notice, let's say anytime I cook curry chicken in the dachi, listen to a dachi. Real one. This tastes so good. Me tell you, if you not cook your chicken in a dachi, run and buy yourself a dachi, because it's a secret ingredient to
Get outside, fuck them over. Suck them over. A party boy said. Suck your
Tell me all if you couldn't sing.
Yeah,
all if I
yeah,
out
we're
of tune.
thinking.
I was like, Tommy is Chinese Jamaican.
yeah.
I am Chinese Jamaican. Tommy name start with T. My name start with T. Like,
Last name start with CH. I remember one time being approached to like enter Miss Jamaica, for example, like when I was a younger girl. And I absolutely would not, because I was like, no, I didn't feel like that was something that I could do because I'd never even seen that.
Right.
You know,
Yeah,
and
I
so
get
I
you.
know there's like always a lot of talk around beauty queens and what they look like and who has a title. But I'm always like, I've never, and I think there was maybe one or two in way back. I've never seen an Asian Miss
Miss
Jamaica.
Jamaica,
Am I wrong?
yeah.
I
Well, not Asian, but maybe more Chinese, because like Lisa Hannah is Indian.
sorry, Chinese
Yeah.
Jamaican. I didn't realize at the time, but now I can more understand what it meant when I started out in music.
So I was just gonna
Yeah.
say, for me growing up,
Yeah.
like you and Tessan were that representation for me.
Johnny man, talk again.
Big up, big up, big up.
I got the blood clean.
I am man.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm born, man.
You born in Jamaica? So you have the accents lock plug to yourself.
But they're on the right people, them.
Oh, okay. So you like, don't you?
I'm a place there, you know.
I am born.
Chinese people began to arrive in Jamaica in the 19th century, particularly as laborers after.
And how much you did?
Cracker them is 249.
So you're talking not Chinese, you're Jamaican?
Yeah, man, come in, Mr. Yardman.
A yard man?
Yes, Yardman. Born and grew up Jamaica.
Where'd you make it from?
Well, born at Kingston, grew up in Manchester.
Really?
Yeah. Me come from Galdeville.
Galdeville?
Yes.
Alright. Clarendon, where come from still?
Alright, sir.
Yeah,
What part of
man.
Clarendon?
Frankfield.
Frankfield, yeah, man. Used to go to, with the Wilfer boys and used to go to school with them. Come from Frankfield.
Yeah, we were in high school.
Yeah, yeah. When I was at the Carteret.
Okay.
DC.
DC?
Yes,
Alright. So everyone like best school still, so.
Right.
Alright, sir.
Good.
Alright, we just people stuff here.
Yes, sir.
Alright.
Yo, let me tell you something, alright? Yo, you want all that argue upon my post, right? You want all of the day argue. Thank you, I appreciate it. For all the people who want to come out and support me, thank you. I appreciate that. People don't realize that just because other people look different, you know, a Clarendon my born and raised in a chateau. You know, many people look upon me and attack Spanish every time. You know, my accent, I know where it used to be, but that's what happened when you're gone 20 years. You know, they're on your people them, so of course everything will change, right? But my birth certificate say at Jamaica me come from, at Jamaica me born, me left when me 13. Alright? I never forget that. 13 years old. Alright? So just because me look Mexican, I mean, yeah, of course, I mean, that not bother me. I just saw life go. But for all the people them where have all this garbage for say, don't worry, man, me not worry about it no. You know, I'm nobody. But thank you for everybody where I follow and I like. Appreciate the whole of you.
It did nice, right? We go in, grab couple drinks, start drink them, and you know, like a soaking on your system and the vibe there and everything. People up on the dance floor, dance, all kind of things that are going, right? Party day nice, right? But then it get to that part of the night where the DJ just start play some wild song. And when I say some wild song, you know, mean the type of song them when the woman them hear it, them mad, them lose them head. Woman them did a behave bad, right? When I say bad, me mean like bad. It was entertaining and everything, you know, until them decide to push me out on the dance floor. And when I look around, I see everybody start clear one circle. You know, like when somebody bust a fart in a one dance and then one circle start form because of the smell. Yeah, that start happen. Except me never fart, you know. And when I look around, all I saw was a fluffy woman. When me say one thick, fluffy woman. This woman was at least 2 times my body weight. And I was a little short, maga little Chinaman in the middle of the dance floor. Me I try leave, you know. I try leave because me know what go come next. Right? Me and Fluffy up on the dance floor. Me I try leave out of the circle and the people them a push me back in the middle. Well, this is not looking like a wonderful time I'm going to have at this party after all. You just see Fluffy do so. Like she ready for me. As I blink, Fluffy take off, right? Fluffy take off like Shelly and Ilian I try beat the world record. Fluffy take off and I charge forward to me, and Fluffy just a charge. Fluffy a charge to me, you know. And me just there. The next thing you see, Fluffy take flight. You only see Fluffy do a thing like so. All me could I do was this. And Fluffy drop like a breadfruit. Oodoof! You blame me. Somehow never say me wicked, right? But me nah take up nothing me can't manage. I am sorry. Fluffy did alright still, you know, because she had a lot of cushion. So when she landed on the ground, all she do was just bounce 2 times. And then that was it. Fluffy looked at me and give me a side eye. If side eye could have killed me, would have dead that night. Dead. So me make my way out of the crowd now, because them know say me not play for them game. And I did exit that party immediately. Alright, so if I made you laugh, please drop a like, drop a follow, share with your friends, leave a comment, all of them good things there. Alright, until the next video. Take care.
Passion. Over generations, Chinese communities grew, built businesses, found families, and became part of Jamaican society. And here is what makes the story even more interesting. Many Chinese Jamaicans grew up speaking Jamaican patois, eating Jamaican food, listening to the reggae and dancehall, and embracing Jamaican culture while also maintaining parts of their Chinese heritage. Today, Chinese Jamaicans can be found across the island and in the Jamaican diaspora. Their identity shows that being Jamaican isn't limited to one race or background. Jamaica is a melting pot of African, European, Asian and Indian and in other influences. So, the next time someone says Chinese Jamaican, is that even a thing? You can tell them absolutely, and that is what makes Jamaica so special. The island's history is a story of different cultures coming together to create something unique Jamaican. Thanks for watching, and remember, Jamaica's story is much more diverse than you might think. So, thank you for watching, and subscribe my channel and like.